He didn't even celebrate. Archie Gray's first Spurs goal wins a gritty London derby at Selhurst Park. Selhurst Park can swallow teams whole. The noise, the tight pitch, the momentum swings. It's the kind of ground where a comfortable away win is basically a myth. And on Sunday, December 28, 2025, Tottenham arrived there needing something bigger than pretty football. They needed a result. Spurs had been wobbling, pressure building around Thomas Frank after a rough run of form and a frustrating stretch away from home. Crystal Palace, meanwhile, had been playing with confidence for much of the season, but signs of fatigue were starting to show as the schedule squeezed tighter and tighter. And then, in the middle of all that tension, a 19-year-old stepped into the loudest moment of his Spurs life. A game that looked like it was sliding away. 4 long spells, Palace looked like the side more likely to score. They had more of the ball, pushed Spurs back, and created the kind of half-chances that feel like they're one clean touch away from turning into chaos for the away team. Tottenham's plan wasn't flashy. It was survival with purpose. Stay compact, win the battles, and pounce when the moment finally came. And it nearly came earlier than expected. Spurs thought they'd struck first when Richarlison finished at the back post, but the move was checked and the goal was ruled out for offside. It was one of those moments that can crush confidence. Or sharpen it. Tottenham chose the second option. The moment. One corner, one flick. One name in the headlines. As the first half moved toward halftime, Spurs got what they wanted. A set piece. A Pedro Porro corner came in, Spurs kept it alive. And suddenly the ball was bouncing around in that dangerous area where defenders don't want it and attackers live for it. In the scramble, Richarlison helped it on. And there, only yards out, was Archie Gray. He nodded it in from close range in the 42nd minute. 1-0 Tottenham. It wasn't a goal built on silky passing and highlight reel skill. It was a goal built on persistence, positioning, and nerve, the kind of goal that wins gritty away games. And here's the wild part. It was Gray's first senior goal, and it made him the youngest Englishman to score for Spurs in the Premier League since Dele Alli. Palace's story. Possession without the punch. Crystal Palace didn't collapse after going behind. They kept coming. They kept trying to build pressure. But the final touch, the finishing, the calm moment in front of goal, just wasn't there. Jean-Philippe Mateta had a huge chance in the first half and couldn't take it. After the break, Justin Devaney and Maxence Lacroix both had opportunities that could have changed everything. And that frustrating theme matched a bigger Palace problem. They've been punished too often from dead balls. The Guardian noted that 12 of the 20 league goals Palace had conceded this season came from set pieces. Exactly the weakness Spurs exploited for the winner. Our drama returns. And Selhurst Park celebrates a decision. If you wanted drama, the second half delivered it with a familiar villain. Richarlison thought he'd sealed it later in the match. Again the flag, again the check, again the goal wiped out for offside. Spurs actually had 2 Richarlison goals ruled out in total. At one point, the crowd reaction to the decision sounded like Palace had scored themselves. That's what tight games do. They make every whistle feel like a goal. The final siege. Spurs hang on, barely breathing. Palace kept pushing, but Tottenham's defensive work became the story. Clearances, blocked lanes, bodies in the box. Spurs even came close to making it 2-0 late on when substitute Wilson Odobert hit the post. And with every missed Palace chance, the feeling grew. This just wasn't going to be their day. When the final whistle finally came, it felt like Tottenham had not just won a match, but escaped one. Full time. Crystal Palace 0-1 Tottenham. What it means. This wasn't a glamorous Tottenham performance. But it was the kind of win managers cling to in difficult moments. An away derby under pressure with key absences, grinding out 3 points. Most importantly for Spurs fans, it was a day where the headline wasn't the chaos, the injuries, or the doubts. It was Archie Gray, a teenager who picked the perfect moment to introduce himself as a winner. And at Selhurst Park, that's never a small thing.